Hello and welcome. My name is Meepolis, she, they, and this is Literally Graphic. And today we are looking at the translated work Primo Levi by Matteo Mastragostino and Alessandro Ranghiasci, translated by Alberto Toscano. Side note, I was sent this book by the publisher between the lines in exchange for a review. It was published in early 2021. Content notes for the Holocaust, Auschwitz, Bomb City, guns, beatings, naked starved bodies, anti-Semitism, eugenics, and death in a couple of different ways. Digging into the nature of the physical violence, it largely happens off the page, with a few notable exceptions, with the story mostly showing the results of the violence as Primo Levi moves through the narrative. Otherwise, one of the most surprising parts of the book is when a middle schooler pulls out a toy gun, at least I assume it's a toy, right before Levi arrives, and he doesn't get thrown out of school. Very European, I suppose. And according to the publisher's website, here is a short bio on writer Matteo Mastragostino. Quote, is a graphic designer, journalist, and graphic novel writer with a degree in industrial design. Primo Levi, his first graphic novel, was published in 2017. Since then, the book has been translated into French, German, Croatian, and now English. Primo Levi won third place at the
Prix Révélation Bande Dessinée des Lycéens Hauts-de-France
in 2019. In 2020, Matteo published two more graphic novels, Parlaska and Van Nath. Matteo lives in Lecco with his son Leonardo, two goldfish, and an innumerable number of books and comic books. Illustrator Alessandro Ranghiasci, quote, studies at the Roman School of Comics and Faculty of Archaeology at the Sapienza University of Rome. He has worked as a storyboard artist in cinema and advertising. Primo Levi is his debut as a comic book artist. And to try and briefly summarize the material, Primo Levi is a biography that focuses on the time this Italian Jewish chemist and writer spent in Auschwitz, framed by a presentation given by Primo Levi to a group of schoolchildren, which is something he apparently did before he passed away in 1987. Obviously a book that includes a couple of different time periods, it was all very easy to follow, and the juxtaposition of different events worked well to communicate a deeper understanding of Levi's experience. I was not particularly familiar with Levi's work before this point, although now I obviously am much more interested. It's easy enough to see the Holocaust as predominantly numbers and facts because the scale of horror was just so large. Nonfiction from highly individual perspectives are an important antidote to this problem. The part of the book that I found perhaps the most interesting was about Levi's extremely brief time in the armed resistance. The wordiness of the book was pretty low. I didn't feel things were skipped over or omitted in pursuit of minimalism, but it is a very short and fast read. The art is very scribbly at times, which will not be to everyone's taste. That said, the less realistic style does offer a small reprieve from the brutality we are witnessing, and it does convey a lot. On top of that, the way pages and frames are laid out is extremely evocative and expresses a lot. Besides being targeted for being Jewish, Mastragostino also shows Levi discussing how nationality and language played a part in his time in Auschwitz. As an Italian Jew, Levi in the book notes that other Italian prisoners probably felt particularly isolated and targeted. Levi himself happened to know some German, and he does credit this with being at least part of the reason he made it through. He was also able to receive some small secret assistance from an Italian who was working at the camp. The choice to use footnotes to show the translation of the German dialogue is also very striking and helped to show that difference. Obviously, there are a lot of men in the story as Levi is retelling his time in a gender-segregated place. Otherwise, it didn't feel like sexuality and class were really commented on at all. The ability of Levi and his comrades in the camp are tested, with those deemed not able-bodied enough killed. Overall, I think I will be rating this book 4 out of 5 stars. I do wish it was a tad bit longer. But y'all, keep reading and resist white supremacy. And Literally Graphic is created on land that should be given back to the traditional landholders, which in this case is, to my knowledge, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, an Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat Nation.